My friends, it's Thursday. You know what that means. We always finish strong on this show. So hang on. If you are white, you stand accused of microaggressions. Texas is being swamped with illegal alien crime. A retired judge blows the whistle on traffic ticket quotas. And Muslims are threatening to fill the streets of Paris with dead bodies and telling fellow Muslims around the world that if they can't travel to the Middle East to, quote, kill where you are. My name's Howard Riell, and this is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com, and on Facebook, and on YouTube, and on Tumblr, and in the book, Real Truth, Stay Angry. And, of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Call-in number remains the same, 877-254-7524. My friends, don't ever say I don't do anything for you. Not only do I do Real Truth, which is the most important hour in radio, but I videotape it. I put it on Facebook for you, put it on YouTube. Now I've got it on Tumblr. It's easier than ever to become an acolyte. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Item from PJ Media. The murder of Catherine Steinle on the Embarcadero in San Francisco by an illegal alien is the most familiar example of a crime committed by an alien, but an unreleased internal report by the Texas Department of Public Safety reveals that aliens have been involved in thousands of crimes in Texas alone, including nearly 3,000 homicides. PJ Media obtained a never-before-released copy of a Texas DPS report on human smuggling containing the numbers of crimes committed by aliens in Texas. According to the analysis conducted by the Texas Department of Public Safety, foreign aliens committed 611,234 unique crimes in Texas from 2008 to 2014, including thousands of homicides and sexual assaults. The report describes an alien crime wave of staggering proportions exacerbated by federal officials unwilling to enforce immigration laws. The Texas DPS report says that well over 100,000 individual criminal aliens have been booked into Texas jails. Unquote. My friends, speaking of jails, what do you say we take those employees, federal employees, state employees, those who were charged with preventing illegals from coming into the country, and what do you say we jail their sorry asses? Do you think maybe if we did that, they would start to do a righteous job and earn their paychecks, and by the way, safeguard the American people? I think so too. Related item from the Free Beacon. The Obama administration is moving forward with plans to expand a waiver program that will allow additional illegal aliens to remain in the country rather than apply for legal status from abroad. Unquote. So my friends, when we start throwing the sorry asses of federal and state employees in jail because they've refused to shut down our border, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama should be first. Item from MagicValley.com. A crowd showed up Monday to a College of Southern Idaho meeting to voice opinions about the Refugee Center program. It follows months of controversy after an April announcement that 300 refugees, possibly some from Syria, could be resettled here over the next year. Some community members are worried there will be an influx of radical Muslims. Unquote. My friends, they've got very, very good reason to worry because there will be an influx of radical Muslims. Make no mistake about it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So keep those jail cell doors open. And if there's anybody on Capitol Hill who wants to get reelected, it's real easy. Send up a bill and push it through till it becomes law. It says public officials who fail in their job to secure our border are guilty of crimes against national security and must be immediately jailed. Politicians who do that will get reelected. Item from Vocative. ISIS's official media wing in Syria's Hama province published a video Wednesday showing a French-speaking militant shooting a Syrian army prisoner and declaring that the Islamic State, quote, will fill the streets of Paris with dead bodies, unquote. The ISIS militant addressed his message to the French, the international community, and, quote, everyone who fights Allah and his prophet, unquote, proclaiming that the Islamic State loves death, quote, like you love life, unquote. My friends, you know, I love to give people what they love. My girlfriend loves Godiva chocolate. I love to give it to her. My children, when they were small, used to love to hear bedtime stories. I love to read to them. If Muslims love death, item from NBC, Dateline, Aspen, Colorado. ISIS's efforts to inspire troubled Americans to violence has become more of a terror threat to the U.S. than an external attack by al-Qaeda, the FBI director said Wednesday. FBI Director James Comey told an audience at the Aspen Security Forum that ISIS, which has proclaimed a caliphate in parts of Syria and Iraq, has influenced a significant but unknown number of Americans through a year-long campaign on social media, urging Muslims who can't travel to the Middle East to, quote, kill where you are, unquote. So, my friends, a shout-out, if I may. All the people out there who roll their eyes when I say ban Islam, who say to me, Riell, what are you kidding? You can't ban Islam. Who say to me, what are you going to do? Force them to leave America? Who say to me, what are you going to do? Shut down the mosques? A year-long campaign on social media urging Muslims who can't travel to the Middle East to, quote, kill where you are. Well, my friends, for Muslims in America, America is where they are. And if they identify as Muslim, then they are religious. They read the Quran, they believe it's the word of God. And so when imams tell them to kill where they are, they're telling them to kill you and me and our families. And we already know that mosques around the country routinely disseminate written and oral information about the whys and wherefores of committing jihad. And so I will tell even the naysayers that just as they're learning to their chagrin in Europe, Islam is a clear and present danger here in the United States. And if we want to prevent the kind of agony that Europe is only beginning to go through, then we need to get our asses in gear and get the hell rid of Islam. It's Thursday. It's going to be rough and ready, my friends. Get ready. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Real Truth.
It's nothing more than a shot in the dark. If you're taking supplements or following health programs without an accurate scientific evaluation of your health, from the comfort of your home or office, you can work personally with health expert Eileen Durfee, a Dr. Wilson health practitioner who scientifically evaluates your current health and provides you a personalized program and affordable products. Get real results, get nutritional balancing, and GoHealthyNext.com. Call 866-463-4533.
My friends, I got to tell you, life is funny. I was dealing with this woman. I interviewed someone she represents, and the magazine for which I interviewed her, insists on a signed release before we'll use the comments. And she wrote back to me something. The guy I represent has been interviewed hundreds of times. He's not about to sign a release. And I wrote to her and I said, well, then he's not about to be in my magazine. Guess what just came in the inbox? A signed release. I'll be right back.
We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit with the fear of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does
And now we get serious. All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Riell. Real Truth is the name of the show, and I ain't kidding about it. Item from InfoWars. MTV is continuing its crusade to mainstream tumblers/social justice warrior insanity with a new video that targets white people for, quote, racial microaggressions, unquote, directed against people of color. Awful things such as saying that you like black culture. These so-called racial microaggressions, which are also being circulated at major universities throughout the country, include the following according to MTV. Saying black people are good at sports. Saying black people are good at dancing. Asking where someone is from. Complimenting someone on their English. Complimenting black people on their hair. Saying a person of color looks like someone else. Saying a person of color is pretty. Saying that you like black culture. So, if you say you like black culture, you're a racist. And if you don't like black culture, you're also a racist. Thanks for clearing this up, MTV. I'm wondering if the fact that black people are responsible for 50% of homicides in the U.S., despite making up only 13% of the population, counts as a microaggression too. Item from RealClearPolitics.com. In an interview with CNN's Anderson Cooper that was broadcast tonight, Republican candidate for President Donald Trump berated the reporter for continuing to address polls that shed him in a negative light instead of polls showing his upper-tier status. I am leading across the board, Trump said in the interview. And then you hit me with this poll that I didn't see before where, oh gee, it's not even that kind of a poll. All I know is I have a very big group of support, and I think one of the reasons, let me tell you, the people don't trust you, and the people don't trust the media, and I understand why, Trump lectured Cooper. Trump also said the American dream is dead, but he will revive it and make it, quote, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Quote, I tell the story, the American dream. I talk about the American dream in speeches, Trump said. The American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. The American dream is dead. And I go, boom, and I do it with great bravado, and the audience goes crazy, unquote. My friends, Anderson Cooper is among the leading liars in the mainstream media. He follows orders, he spins the news, he spins the propaganda exactly as his employer tells him to do. And the reason that the media and the Republican Party don't like Donald Trump is that he's not part of the media or part of the Republican Party. Mainstream is not part of the Republican machine, number one. And number two, he can't be bought. And number three, he's got the guts to say things Americans are thinking when the politicians and the media don't. People ask me why I like Donald Trump. That's why. 3 concise reasons. Related item from Newsmax. Donald Trump is warning that if the Republican National Committee is unfair to him, the odds that he'll mount a third-party try for the White House will, quote, absolutely increase. The RNC has been, I think, very foolish, Trump told The Hill in an exclusive interview on Wednesday, claiming that the party leadership has not been supportive of his campaign. They were always supportive when I was a contributor, the real estate mogul and presidential candidate said. I was their fair-haired boy, unquote. My friends, the machine will continue to be unfair to Trump, just like the machine is unfair to you and to me, like the Democratic machine, because it's really one machine, together in lockstep with the media. They don't like Donald Trump, just like they didn't like Ron Paul in the last presidential election. Our job is to think independently. Don't let the media color the news and shade the news and spin the news, and certainly don't let them tell you for whom to vote. Make it your business to check out all the candidates, see what they stand for, see what they've done, see what suggestions they have, what policies they have for the future, because that's really the only thing that counts. And see if they got the guts to call a spade and call people out, enumerate exactly what the challenges are in this country, because if you don't know the question, you can't find the answer. So far, Donald Trump seems to know the questions and the answers. Item from the Free Thought Project, Dateline, Calvert, Texas. Retired municipal court judge David Viscard has recently come forward to expose the use of quotas on speeding tickets. In an exclusive interview this week, Viscard told WFAA that the police department and the local courts were involved in a revenue collection scheme where officers had quotas for speeding tickets and judges were pressured to rush the cases through the courts. Viscard was a volunteer municipal court judge for over 15 years. Quote, "When I first became a judge, we had one reserve officer. That's all he did on Friday and Saturday every other weekend. He'd write 100 citations," Viscard said. "Their municipal court is now their cash cow," he added. Viscard explained how the pressure put on judges in the area caused him and many others to quit. Quote, "The pressure to collect revenues in Calvert and probably other small towns in Texas is excessive. What happens is you got judges like me who say they've got better things to do with my time. Thank you very much and God bless you. I'll move on," Viscard said. Unquote. Speeding ticket quotas are theft. They're theft. They are stealing with a gun and an entire legal apparatus pointed at the citizen. They are a crime. Judges and police who are behind them need to go to jail. They need to go to jail. In the meantime, my question is, why do people hate cops so much these days? And why are people shooting at cops? I can't figure it out. Item from Vocative, the video called "The Cubs of Dijla," in a reference to the young boys being indoctrinated and groomed to fight, shows children as the clip's primary speakers. They deliver monologues and recite verses of the Quran, marking the first time the Islamic State has depicted boys, one as young as 3 years old, speaking at length directly into the camera. "Where are the martyrs? Where are the suicide attackers?" the young boy asks, urging Muslims and Arabs to stop talking and start acting. Quote, "Give me my weapon," he declares as he grabs a gun almost as long as his body. He later fires the rifle. More from Generation Kill. The tween soldiers of ISIS. The troubling 9.5-minute clip also pictures children in the classroom sitting at desks and listening to a lecture on Sharia law. It then shifts outdoors, where the same children are depicted in military fatigues performing training exercises with rifles. Unquote. My friends, do you want to see the future? All right, get out your crystal ball. What? You don't have a crystal ball. All right, well, start burning in. You don't have incense. Well, that's okay, because you don't need a crystal ball or incense. All you need to do is watch that video clip, and it will tell you that in the future, Muslims will continue to murder and behead and wage war against the world because they teach children as young as a year old to wage jihad. You now know the future. Item from the Connecticut Post. Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson are history in Connecticut. Under pressure from the NAACP, the state Democratic Party will scrub the names of the two presidents from the annual fundraising dinner because of their ties to slavery. Unquote. My friends, now Andrew Jackson and Thomas Jefferson are persona non grata in the PC crowd's eyes. Well, I guess in that case, we've got to get rid of the Declaration of Independence also, because Thomas Jefferson wrote it, right? Right? Schmucks, right? Item from the Holy New York Times, Dateline, Los Angeles. I Am Kate. The new reality series starring Caitlyn Jenner. By the way, folks, that's Bruce Jenner with makeup. Starring Caitlyn Jenner begins at 4:32 a.m. with Ms. Jenner wide awake. Looking exhausted, she stares into a camera and agonizes over the stress of becoming a sudden role model for transgender people everywhere. "I hope I get it right," she says, twice. In the premiere episode, there are lighthearted scenes, including Ms. Jenner taking Kim Kardashian on a tour of her closet and lamenting that she needs a sports bra while playing tennis. But it also features extensive talk about the suicide rate among transgender people. And Ms. Jenner visits the mother of a transgender teenager who killed himself. Ms. Jenner also reveals her new look post-transition, to her mother and sisters and has them sit down with a counselor to help navigate thorny territory, like how Ms. Jenner's mother can reconcile her daughter's decision with the Bible. Unquote. My friends, I don't want to be a spoiler for the series, but Mrs. Jenner will never be able to reconcile her son's decision with the Bible. Can't happen. It's like reconciling 2 and 2 and coming up with 11. By the way, somewhat more serious note. Here, Bruce is sitting down with the mother of a trans teenager who killed himself and talking about the, quote, extensive suicide rate among transgender people, unquote. My friends, are people who are functioning well, who are emotionally healthy, are people firing on all jets, extensively committing suicide, or does that suicide rate, even among teenagers, show us that these people have some very, very real problems? And instead of addressing these problems, they're covering them over with lipstick and rouge. Item from the Libertarian Republic, Blake Neff reporting. An LGBT pride march in Scotland has banned, quote, CIS drag queens from marching out of fear that it could offend transgender people. Free Pride Glasgow is scheduled to take place in August and bills itself as an alternative to the city's main Pride event, which has allegedly become too commercialized. It was felt by the group within the trans/non-binary caucus that some drag performance, particularly CIS drag, hinges on the social view of gender and making it into a joke. However, transgender individuals do not feel as though their gender identity is a joke, organizers said in a statement. According to the statement announcing the policy, some transsexuals found drag performances offensive because it, quote, hinges on the social view of gender and making it into a joke, unquote. My friends, it's not a joke. It's a very, very serious mental health issue. But here's something else that bothered me here. They are banning drag queens because they feel they may offend transgender people. What if they offend straight people? Seems like nobody gives a rat's ass about that. Maybe I shouldn't mention ass in an item like that. Forget I mentioned it. Item from intercollegiatereview.com, Ben Peterson reporting, read through the Constitution. You will not find a right to same-sex marriage anywhere in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or the other amendments. Of course, you also won't find a right to heterosexual marriage. Check me on this. None of the words or phrases, marriage, married, family, engaged, right to marriage, open marriage, or it's complicated, appear anywhere in the document. The generic word posterity shows up in the preamble, but that's as close as you'll get to family. In other words, establishing a national uniform marriage regime does not relate to the purposes of Constitution as initially conceived. Unfortunately, this could have a divisive effect rather than the unifying influence George Washington saw as one of the Constitution's prime benefits. Why? Because except for the legitimate constitutional question regarding full faith and credit clause in Article 4 as to whether states would be required to recognize same-sex marriages from other states, the marriage question need not have been settled at the national level. Why? Marriage and family are really important, right? Well, sure. But the Constitution initially had nothing to do with those really important things. Its purpose was to establish a national political order out of a diverse body of sovereign states, not to manage intimate living arrangements for the inhabitants of those states. Towns, cities, and states were already managing intimate affairs like marriage without permission from judges in Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia. The roots of the American tradition of self-rule run much deeper than the Constitution, unquote. My friends, they also run much deeper than gays wanting to get married. Sorry, guys, but this is called government by grown-ups, for grown-ups. We'll take a break. Real Truth continues.
It's nothing more than a shot in the dark. And if you're taking supplements or following health programs without an accurate scientific evaluation of your health, That's 866-463-4533. An emergency preparedness plan for your home, car, school, and office is a must. Knowing how to store water safely, survive extreme temperature changes, provide reliable shelter, first aid, and sanitation is critical. Knowing where to get the best lights, radios, and other supplies is easy. First Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing realistic preparedness supplies at affordable prices. Stop by, go online, or call 303-781-0343, 866-781-0343.
Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom catered capabilities as modest as emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. This is the America's News Network. Elizabeth Rockefeller and Elizabeth remind our listeners that the U.S. government is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at early ages. We want to applaud the experts in our community who have had the strength to say no to drugs. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's from Elizabeth Rockefeller, located at 66 Grand Street in Elizabeth, serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized aged beef and pork and complete custom processing. Call 303-688-2240. That's 303-688-2240.
Guys, welcome back to Real Truth. Howard Riell behind the microphone doing what I do. Item from USA Today. A union of Border Patrol agents says its members will not accompany Donald Trump on his Thursday tour, that's today, near the Texas-Mexico border, saying the event has become too politicized. Stop. My friends, think about that for a second, will you? Whether or not to shut our national border has become a political issue. That's stunning. What country doesn't have tightly secured borders? Every country protects its borders. We should protect our borders. We have a responsibility, the government does, to protect our borders. But now it's become the thing of political discourse? How the hell did that happen? This is not politics, my friends. This is national survival. It's not politics. By the way, I applaud Donald Trump for going down there. Item from CBSLA.com. Authorities say they're investigating an incident involving officers believed to have used beanbag rounds and a taser on a homeless man in a wheelchair. Officers allege that the man, later identified as Christopher Zarek, 43, tried to attack them, but their actions are being criticized. Cell phone video captured the incident, which unfolded Friday night as officers tried to take Zarek into custody near Broadway Avenue and 3rd Street. The footage shows 10 LAPD officers surrounding Zarek, and shouts can be heard. 2 beanbags are then heard being fired at the man before a 3rd round is discharged, according to the footage. Excuse me. Zarek, still in a wheelchair, appears to kick his legs and scream, at which point officers move in and subdue him with a taser, reported CBS 2's Peter Doubt. The LAPD declined to speak on camera, but told CBS 2 the man swung a pole at officers when they tried to take him into custody. Unquote. My friends, here's my question. What kind of girly men, what kind of wimpy sissies, what kind of nerds is the LAPD hiring when it takes 10 of them to subdue a man in a wheelchair? 10 officers plus a taser and a beanbag rifle. If those are the kind of officers that the LAPD is hiring, I see a problem right there. Fire their sorry asses and hire men. Item from the Belfast Telegraph.co. The trailer for the new James Bond film Spectre has notched up 4.5 million plays on YouTube in its first 24 hours online, the equivalent of 3,000 plays per minute. Unquote. My friends, I could yammer on and on about people having nothing constructive to do and instead filling their lives with entertainment and other nonsense, but I won't say that. Instead, I'll say this. The James Bond movie is not important. Real truth is important because I get vital information out that people need to know and then urge people to act on it. So, if James Bond is not important and Real Truth is, and if James Bond is getting 3,000 views a minute, then I want Real Truth. When I put my video up there on Facebook or YouTube or Tumblr, I want Real Truth videos to get 3,000 plays per minute. We can do that, right? Right. Item from Reuters, Dateline, Casale di San Nicola, Italy. Migrants arriving in a new shelter outside Rome needed riot police to protect them from far-right activists and furious residents. In the north, locals vandalized a home to keep asylum seekers from moving in. Traditionally a nation of immigrants, Italy is now struggling to absorb a ceaseless influx of immigrants from Africa and the Middle East. Prime Minister Matteo Renzi is under pressure to stem the flow, and his government is fighting to calm tensions. Migrant arrivals have already exceeded 85,000 this year, following 170,000 in 2014. While many of the newcomers look to move swiftly to wealthier Northern Europe, some 85,000 are housed in Italian shelters, up from 60,000 last year. Unquote. My friends, it's not just us. Europe is being bombarded with third world immigrants who show up with diseases, with no education, and with their hands out. The citizens in Italy are furious, as they should be. Across Europe, residents are furious, as they should be. In Minnesota and other places here, residents are furious, as they should be. So the question becomes, why aren't you furious? Is it because third world migrants haven't arrived in your particular town yet? Good. Wait. Item from Breitbart News via the Blazing Cat Fur website. A group of Christian asylum seekers in Sweden was subjected to bullying tactics by Muslim neighbors for wearing the symbol of the cross. The group consisted of 2 Christian families who lived in an asylum house of approximately 80 individuals, the majority of whom were Syrian Muslims. Described as fundamentalist Islamists by major Swedish newspaper Dagens Nyheter, the other residents told the Christians they were not to wear their symbols of faith in the building, and they would not be allowed to use the communal areas while they were in use by Muslims. After being threatened and harassed on a number of occasions, the small group of Christians, which are likely to have been Syrian Christian refugees fleeing the Islamic State, packed and left, fearing for their own safety. Unquote. My friends, it's not just that Muslims want to kill everybody, not just that they want to blow things up, not just that they believe that their God wants them to wage unending war against everybody on the planet. It's not just them. When Muslims arrive in a new location, they want tolerance for their belief systems. But then Muslims are the least tolerant people on the planet. And so how much toleration should we give Muslims? We should tolerate them right up until the moment they get on an airplane and get the hell out. Item from theexaminer.com. In a recently released book, national security expert Stephen Coughlin said that while serving as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton promised Islamic countries that the U.S. government would intimidate Americans who speak out or criticize Islam, the Daily Caller reported on Saturday. The 2011 closed-door meeting with Islamic countries lasted 3 days and, the caller said, puts Clinton's willingness to defend the Constitution in serious doubt. According to Coughlin, Clinton told representatives of the Organization for Islamic Cooperation that the U.S. government would, quote, use some old-fashioned techniques of peer pressure and shaming, unquote, to intimidate and silence those who criticize Islam or Muhammad. At the time of the conference, we reported that Traditional Values Coalition President Andrea Lafferty was identified as a, quote, security threat to Clinton and even detained by her security personnel, unquote. So, my friends, Hillary Clinton is in cahoots with the people who want to destroy us. Why? We're giving her money and support. So, once again, Hillary Clinton is a lying whore. And Muslims continue to show themselves to be our enemies. We'll take a break, and we'll be back. All right, my Facebook people, I'm about to end this video. I'm going to put it on Facebook. Real Truth Radio is the page. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to put it up on Tumblr. You have no excuse. You can't spit without hitting this video. I want you to watch it again. I want you to share it with everybody. I want you to broadcast it. It's not ego talking. It's because these stories and these issues need to be put before the eyes and ears of the American people. They don't have to agree with me, but let them at least hear the facts and then discuss them. That's how a democracy works. That said, I'm signing off. I'll be back on Monday. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay angry. Hasta luego.